stream is late, but there was that news story about the Warner Brothers pictures moving, and so I wanted to get that up. And things are a little bit looser these days, so I wanted to make sure we had a nice long time to talk Star Wars. I like doing these Ask Me Anythings that are themed. Tomorrow I'm planning to do, as was suggested by Ryan Stewart, the Fox MCU stuff. So everybody, welcome to today's stream. Thanks to everybody who's joining in. Thanks to everybody who's a member. As I said, very appreciated, particularly during these difficult times. We'll give everybody a few moments to join in. So everybody, tell me, where are you watching from today? I love to give everybody a bit of a shout out if I can. Oh, that's very sweet, Zed. Hello, Zed. Let's see here. Juan, I'll talk about the Fandango Voodoo deal on Movie Math next, on Sunday. It's a smaller story. I'm going to save it for, talking about industry news. Godzilla vs. Kong is in London. Oh, Lone Wolf Media is stuck in traffic in Kentucky. How's their traffic? Aaliyah is in Tucson, Arizona. Hey, Terry. Max is cooking pasta. Where are you? In Mexico. Celestial is working from home in Burbank. Let's see here. I have it on slow. I'm glad so many people are here. It's still going by pretty fast. Madeline's at home working at her desk. Dancing Dog is in their bedroom in Boston. No marathon today. I like that you guys say hi to each other as well. You guys know each other. Thomas is in Toronto. Let's see here. I can't read your name because it's in Greek letters, but you're in Greece, so I feel bad. I want to horribly mispronounce it. Rodolfo is in South Texas. Portis 2 is also in London. Waffles is saying hi to Francisco. I thought you were in San Francisco for a moment. Justin Slayer is in Rhode Island. Evan's watching from Steubenville, Ohio. That's fun to say. Let's see here. Utaka just logged off for the day in St. Louis. Woo! End of the day. Oh, thanks, Terry. Kenneth is in his dorm room in Burnaby. Lauren says it's beautiful outside today, but a bit hot. I have no idea what the weather is. I can't go outside. I am going to cover, we'll see if it actually happens, but Georgia today said they want to open theaters on Monday, a week from today. I would be shocked if they could, but we'll see. Let's see here. Hey, Gabriel. Gabriel's in Houston. Matt's in Michigan. Bartek is in Warsaw, Poland. Just brushed his teeth because it's midnight. I love it. Thanks for staying up with me. Lena. Hi, Lena. Let's see here. Oh, Jose is grading papers online. That's fantastic. Cameron said just finished working from home in Mississippi. Cartoons of Serbia is fittingly in Serbia, Belgrade. Karen, I don't have a balcony. Let's see here. These Westworld was beautiful as always, but very hard to follow. Kennedy's in Atlanta. Let's see here. Darren is in Winstakill, New York. Oh, and David is practicing the cello in Wisconsin. Oh, that's lovely. I love that. Darren's ordering a pizza. Delicious. All right, everybody. It's 6:05. We'll go till about 6:35. You can ask me anything you'd like about Star Wars. We're going to talk Star Wars today. Star Wars, of course, is maybe perhaps more on Disney Plus than ever before. That's certainly where its future is, because they haven't really announced any new movies. So you can ask me anything you'd like. Steven's talking about Ryan Murphy over there. Bet and Joan feud is quite good. Godzilla vs. Kong says, are you okay with MCU actors moving to Star Wars? I would be okay with Chris Evans moving to Star Wars, and he'd like to do it, and I actually think he's an excellent choice, because he's kind of done in the MCU, so it would be great for him to go on to a new franchise. I think he'd be excellent. I don't want to see Brie Larson go there, though, because she's just getting started in the MCU. You can't really be in two big franchises at once. I have big problems with that. And I think, she's, I'm glad that she's a legitimate Star Wars fan and she can support it going forward. But she already got a huge role in the Marvel movies. That's enough. Lloyd says, Grace, what are your thoughts on Stellan Skarsgård and Kyle Soller joining the Cassian Andor series on Disney Plus? I saw that story. It's hard to. I didn't cover it because we don't know who they're playing. Stellan Skarsgård sure works a lot, boy. He's, of course, in the upcoming Dune as well. We just didn't get a picture of him with that first look. The other actor I'm not familiar with. I'm just excited for Cassian Andor because I loved Diego Luna in the movie, and I thought, K2SO is my favorite droid. So I would be thrilled for that to work out. And I actually saw Tony Gilroy at a screening of Uncut Gems during awards season, and I went to him and I was like, people are excited. We think you're going to do a good job, Tony. And he was caught a little off guard because I think he's not used to dealing with fans. Because he really wasn't, people weren't really giving him the credit at the time. They were like, oh, Gareth Edwards still did most of it. But we all know that it was Tony Gilroy. So I'm really excited about that show. Braden, I saw that IGN did a fake Mandalorian Season 2 trailer. I think that was, they got a lot of downvotes. I think because it wasn't funny, and also people thought it was a new trailer. And I think they should have made it clear that it was a sketch, and then maybe it would have been better received. I'm sure they're pretty surprised at how poorly it went over. Also, everyone thinks Baby Yoda is so cute, so I don't think what they did with him was it just didn't gel. Bartek says, do you think that the Rian Johnson trilogy is still in the plans, or is it dead? I think it's dead. I think it's pretty dead. I don't think it's ever going to get made, quite frankly. Why would they want to go back to that? I mean, that controversy almost killed them. I wouldn't do it. Thomas says, can you rank your 3 favorite Star Wars movies? Yeah, sure. I absolutely love Rogue One. That's probably my favorite. I really like it. That space battle is one of the best things I've ever seen. So I like that. That's probably my favorite. Then I really like The Empire Strikes Back. And then I'd probably go with A New Hope. That's probably the order that I would put them in. Hector, we're definitely going to see a live action Ahsoka on the big screen. Rosario Dawson has been cast, and I made a video covering that. That's definitely happening. Matt says, Grace, do you think that the sequel trilogy would have benefited more if it had an outline? I think, yes. I think, J.J. Abrams didn't put a concrete outline going forward, and then Rian Johnson thought it would be fun to subvert expectations, as I actually talked about today on my DC schedule video. I think, as I've said many times, their biggest problem was not doing something with the original trio, Luke, Leia, and Han, who were alive when they started making those new movies. I think that was a huge missed opportunity, and it was a mistake to focus on a new generation when people were so curious about the old generation, wanted to see their story continue. Chris Clark says, do you think it's sacrilegious to cast a younger actor as Luke? Not if it's Sebastian Stan, who looks exactly like a young Mark Hamill. I think people would go nuts over that, and they should do that in the Obi-Wan show, if it ever gets made. Fidel says, weakest ending in your opinion? I guess it would have to be the latest movie because it just didn't really matter. Right? I thought Solo had a pretty weak ending too. Lone Wolf Media says, do you think we would ever get a Star Wars horror film? Do we think we would want one? I think that it's fun to play with genres in the MCU, but the MCU is a lot more prolific. MCU is pumping out 4 movies a year. They got to find a way to make it interesting. But I think that Star Wars is more of it's fantasy sci-fi. That's what people want to see from it. I don't know if I would do a horror movie. I think you can maybe have horror elements, but I think little kids like it so much. I don't really know if that's necessary. Thomas one says, are you a fan of the prequels? I do not like the prequels. I remember going to see them, and I was watching, I think, the second one. And I was like, it was the big chase scene through a city with Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I was like, whew, this is pretty freaking boring. I think you could fall asleep during this scene. And I turned and looked at my parents, who were very kind to take me, and they were both asleep. And I was like, oh, what do you know? I was right. And I didn't bother to wake them up because I was like, they're not missing anything. Let them rest. Lloyd, I have not been to Galaxy's Edge. I'm very upset about it. I really can't wait to go. I have not seen Rise of the Resistance. I have some family members who got to go. I have not been able to go. I was in LA recently, but of course it was already coronavirus was, the situation was developing at that time. I maybe wanted to go to Disneyland. I was there for a Saturday, and I was like, maybe I should go out into quarantine in the blaze of glory and go to Disneyland by myself. Maybe it won't be that crowded. Then I decided it was too dangerous to go to the theme park, so I just sat in my hotel room on Saturday. So I never got to go. Matt says, Baby Yoda or porgs? Baby Yoda all the way. Hey, Alfonso, thanks for joining. Madeline says, lightsaber color and why? I would want a white lightsaber because I am a gray Jedi. I'm not good or bad. I do relate to the Sith quite a bit. I do have anger sometimes coursing through me. Let's see here. Hey, Daniel in San Diego. Steven says, would you rather see a Jedi Academy show or a Young Sith show? I don't really want to see any more kids. I don't want the X-Men to be kids. I like seeing adults having adventures. And kids like adults, that satisfies everybody because then they get to kids imagine themselves growing up to be those adults. So that's what I would like to see. I already have Peter Parker in high school. I think he's been there for too long, quite frankly. Had enough of that. Thanks, Joseph. Hey, in Argentina, Blix, how you doing? I have not been watching the Clone Wars, Alex. I was kind of put off by the fact that they just re-released episodes that had already been out. So I was like, no thanks. And then, no one's talking about it. If people were talking about it, I'd cover it. It's the same thing with the Harley Quinn show. Love that show. I watch my press screener as soon as I get it. But no one's talking about it, and the videos don't do as well. I mean, it's just not a good use of my time to cover them. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's sad. I'll probably cover it when the season's done. Time allowed. James Keeling says, best Star Wars character. I guess it'd have to be Yoda, the gift that keeps on giving, right? And also Jedis. I think Jedis are great. JC, it wasn't trending on Friday. It might have been trending where you were, but it wasn't trending top 10. Thomas, I haven't read any Star Wars comics. I think I tried a couple when Marvel first started publishing them, and I didn't quite care for them. Mex, I haven't heard anything about Kevin Feige's Star Wars project. I think he's very busy right now. Tim says, what do you think Kevin Feige will do with Star Wars? I think he'll use a lot of Marvel talent. As I said, I thought Taika Waititi would be an excellent person to direct it. I also think the Russo brothers would be phenomenal, and I think I would bring in Chris Evans if I were him. Madeline says that they're still doing fan-determined storylines. Well, I think what you mean is that they're going to see who fans gravitate towards with these new novels. Hey, Addison Levitt. And then they'll do movies based on that probably. I think that's a little bit. I don't know how I feel about that. I think they're professionals for a reason. Hey Anna, they should make decisions. But they're just so lost with Star Wars. I can understand why they're doing it. Awesome Gold Boy, we're talking about Star Wars. I'm sorry, I thought it was Medium. Westworld. Let's see here. Alan says, who do you think is a better character, Jyn Erso or Rey? Oh, Rey, definitely. I thought Daisy Ridley did a great job with the character. I really enjoyed watching her journey. I thought Jyn Erso didn't really register. I like Rogue One a lot, but not for her character. David Stevenson says, do you think Dave Filoni would be a good choice for the head of Lucasfilm? I used to think so. I like the idea of him and Jon Favreau doing it together, but I don't know. I think he's a little too inside baseball based on a lot of the choices he's made for The Mandalorian and The Clone Wars. I feel maybe I wouldn't. I think Jon Favreau is really who I'd like to see run Star Wars, quite frankly. James Keeling says, worst Star Wars movie. One of the prequels, for sure. Maybe the last prequel. Noel, I didn't play Jedi, the last Star Wars video game, so I'm afraid I can't comment on it. JC says, what debuts first, Cassian or Obi-Wan? Right now, Cassian is supposed to debut first. Obi-Wan's being totally rewritten. I told you it has a problem. Aaron says, favorite lightsaber fight. Oh, that's good. I haven't seen the original trilogy in a while. I really liked the lightsaber fight between Kylo Ren and Daisy Ridley in the last movie. I mean, that was the best part of the film. I also liked with her versus the Emperor. I thought that was interesting, which also utilized lightsabers. I thought that for all its flaws, Episode 9 had some pretty nice lightsaber moments. James says, when are we getting The Mandalorian Season 2? It's supposed to come out in October. That's when they said it was coming out. So maybe we'll get a trailer on May 4th, when the new behind-the-scenes documentary debuts, or maybe when that's over. But, of course, May the 4th is coming up, and that's a huge Star Wars day, so expect lots of great stuff on that day. I probably bet we would get maybe a Mandalorian teaser on May 4th. Make a note of that, because I think that's probably going to happen. Bye, Madeline. That's right, Yusuf. May the 4th be with you. I own some Star Wars t-shirts, John. I lost a lot of my belongings to mold, so I don't really have anything. Blick said, would you like a Vader show or a movie? I don't know. Vader was so cool at the end of Rogue One, but I mean, I think he had his moment. Zed, I've always enjoyed the world of Star Wars. I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, like I am Marvel and DC, but I enjoy Star Wars. I think it's nice. Nina, I'm not sure when the next watch along will be. I have to think about it. Maybe this week. Elliot, I already talked about that. You missed it at the beginning of the stream. I would cast Chris Evans and not Brie Larson. Oh, Francisco, I have just one Star Wars umbrella. Thank you for remembering. Yes, I have one. It's a lightsaber. It's great. I love it. I'm afraid to use it in the city, though, because I think someone's going to mug me for it, because it's so cool. And then I'll be stuck with no umbrella in the rain. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Zed. Gabriel, I would love Oscar Isaac back. That would be wonderful. I think real missed opportunity with him and John Boyega. Particularly their interactions were so good in the last movie. Chris, no. Disney will never get rid of, they will never sell Star Wars. It will be a Disney property forever. George Lucas sold it to Disney. It's very lucrative to them in the theme parks, etc. They will never, ever get rid of it. Karen says, how long do you think Baby Yoda will be popular? That's a good question, Karen. I wonder if they'll age him up at all for the new movie. I mean, for the new second season. I think that he'll be popular as long as they keep doing interesting stuff with him. I mean, he had wonderful, memorable moments like every single freaking episode. And now that they've seen how popular he is, I think they can play into that. They know how audiences like to interact with him. He's like the new Groot, but even better than Groot, in my opinion. Max says, how much longer do you think Star Wars can continue as a successful franchise? I think it's all right. It's still successful. I think it'll stay always successful. I mean, these movies make $1 billion, all of them, even with all the hate. That's incredibly impressive. I think that it's good that they're taking a bit of a break, and I think that it'll come back stronger than ever. I do think that Kathleen Kennedy probably won't continue once her contract is over, and I'll be curious to see who takes over. They just have to move away from all the hate, and I think the Disney Plus series are accomplishing that. Lisa said, hey Lisa, says, what new character do you wish they would have done a better job with? I think Finn. I think there was a real lack of diversity in Star Wars. They focused too much, I think, on female representation. They didn't do enough with ethnicity, and also, I think, with sexual orientation. And I think that that needs to be fixed. And Finn was really, I think, a missed opportunity. Jonathan, that was a fake Mandalorian trailer today. Oh, it's really stunning, huh? Jeez, this is why we don't stream usually so late. Let's see. Steven says, Grace, after all this, can Star Wars attract high-caliber actors to future films? I think it depends who's involved behind the scenes. If they get a really good director, like Taika Waititi, or Kevin Feige's involved, or the Russo brothers, I think then people will maybe be like, yeah, I'd like to be involved. But if they continue with, like, if Kathleen Kennedy continues to be the driving force, I think people are going to be reluctant. Dancing Dog says, I'm not that excited about Star Wars at the moment. I understand. I hear you on that. I have so much stuff to watch. I gotta watch, hey, Sean Anthony. I gotta watch Stargirl tonight. Then tomorrow I gotta watch Bad Education. Then I gotta watch Defending Jacob. I realized I had those screeners, and I didn't even realize it. They never sent me an email being like, we added these screeners. So we're going till like 6:35. So we've got about 10 minutes left in the stream. You can ask me anything you'd like about Star Wars. Chris Clark says, will George Lucas ever come back as a director? I don't know. I mean, he had some pretty bad ideas, right? I mean, the prequels were him, and the whole reason he sold it is because everybody kept saying he was bad. I think he might come back maybe more as an advisor. He tried to advise the new movies, but then they put his suggestions in the trash bin. He was pretty upset about it. I can see maybe bringing him back in as an advisor. Dwayne says, do you think Johnny Depp would be a great bad guy for Star Wars? I think Johnny Depp should focus on doing a good job with Fantastic Beasts and trying to get back into the Pirates movies and making sure they don't make one of those without him. I think that would be horrible for him if they made a Pirates movie without Johnny Depp in it. Mark, does George Lucas wear a toupee? That's hilarious. I don't know. Who cares? Mika says, Mark Hamill for Star Wars in the future. I don't see how that's possible. Maybe he could do cameos here and there, but I think he's pretty much been phased out. Literally. David says, do you think Ahsoka will be in a lot of The Mandalorian or in just one episode? I think she's going to be a minor character from what I've heard, David, but she'll be used hopefully in other things like other shows, other movies. She'll be like Nick Fury in the Marvel movies. Maxime, Janelle Monáe for anything. Matko says, as someone who has never seen Star Wars, really? Let's see here. What order should I watch them? Classics first or in order? Story order? I don't know. The prequels, I think, are really hard to get through. Some people really enjoy them, so maybe you'll like them if if you start with them. So I would start with them in order, series order. But then, if you're not enjoying the prequels, I think you can skip them and go right to the original trilogy. I think when it comes to Star Wars movies, the only movies worth really watching are the original trilogy and the new trilogy. Then you'll be pretty caught up. I don't think you need to watch the prequel, and Rogue One. I don't think you need to watch the prequels or even Solo, quite frankly. Thomas says, are you more of a Star Wars or a Star Trek fan? Star Wars over Star Trek. I liked J.J. Abrams' first Star Trek with Chris Pine, but I really love Star Trek, I gotta tell you. I just don't get it. I mean, I want to get it. I want Quentin Tarantino to make a Star Trek movie, but I'm just not totally into it. I'm not against it, but I'm like, not like, when's the new Star Trek movie coming out? Let's see here. Lloyd Lester says, will Rose Tico ever return? I don't think so. That's a good question. I think she's done. Nobody really liked her. I don't think anybody really missed her. I mean, she has some fans. I think people who are fans of Rose Tico are fans of her, what she stands for as a character, and not the character specifically. I just don't think it's going to work out. I think the whole thing was well-intentioned, but a mess. Yeah, Tim, it's very sunny right now. Yeah, it's really sunny right now. Are there 2 songs on in New York City? Thomas says, who is your favorite Star Wars female character? I think you gotta go with the OG, Princess Leia. Wonderful, wonderful character. Although I didn't like what they did with her in the end. I thought she was nothing like she was originally. Bye, Check Film Fantastic. Godzilla vs. Kong, that's just my computer because I'm working off a laptop. It's just my computer trying to function. Maxime says, Ride of the Resistance is the best attraction ever built. Don't rub it in. I wish I could ride it. I really want to go. Eduardo says, do you ever think we'll see more of Billy Lord's character? No, I think they're going to move away. They want to do it based on these things that are from the Old Republic, right? Like from very far in the past, at the height of the Jedi. So that's where they're going to go next. I'm not a big fan of prequels, though. I mean, they should be done sparingly. I don't like when they're like, oh, we all know where this is going to go, and that gets old real fast, I think. Blick says, Dune versus Star Wars. Oh, that's a good question. Let's see how Dune looks. I think Dune doesn't look as beautiful as Star Wars. People hate the Empire, but I think it's the Empire architecture that people love the most about the movies. David says, what Asian actress should join Star Wars? Well, they had Donnie Yen, but they wasted him. I love Donnie Yen. He's so great. Dancing Dog just agreed with me. Sebastian Stitch says, thoughts on Jar Jar Binks? Horrible character. Horrible. But I was very sad to see the way that actor was treated. I don't know why anybody would harass the actor. Jar Jar Binks is a horrible character, but I don't think you should bother the person who portrayed it. But George Lucas shouldn't have done that. It's the same thing with Kelly Marie Tran and Rose Tico. I mean, directors and writers should be more aware of what they're doing to these poor actors when they put them in these such really poorly received roles. Kenneth says, can any Rogue One character appear at a Cassian show? Well, I don't know. It has to be before that whole adventure because, of course, he didn't make it out alive. So I don't want a thing where it's like, I hate when they do Superman and they're like, I actually knew Lois and Lex when he was a kid. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. So I don't want to see that. I don't want it to be like, Cassian actually ran across Jyn Erso and, Ben, what's his name? I can't believe it. I love him. He's so much and I don't remember his name. But yeah, it's like, it's just so, I don't want to see that. Glalie Master says Anakin or Vader. Vader all the way. Mika says, is Star Wars too nostalgic? I think definitely too nostalgic. I think that's why I think the Mandalorian, but it has to have mythology in it. I think the Mandalorian really hit something with the end of the first season. But yeah, I think that they really don't know what to do with it, which is unfortunate. And they threw away the novels, so that hurts them, but there's really no, like comic books offer a path forward for the movies. But there's really nothing, they have to just make it up as they're going along, and that's hard to do. Oh, that's very sweet of you, Enter for None. Blick says, will Mando ever hop into the movies? I don't know about that. That'd be great if he ran in the back. But I don't know when that would happen. I mean, right now they're planning to make these prequels again. More prequels. Like prequels. Max says, who was your favorite character from the recent trilogy? I really liked all the characters. I just thought they were poorly used. I liked Kylo Ren a lot. I liked Rey. And I liked Poe Dameron, even though he had nothing to do. Kenneth says, would you like an alien lead? If it was like an older baby Yoda, maybe. You got to get the right one. You got to get the right alien character. Dancing Dog says, will we ever see the Miller Lord solo footage? I don't think so. I don't think anybody's even really asking for it. So why would they open themselves up? I think they just want to let that go. I'd like to see, as I reported, the young Lando show that they're working on. I think that would be great. I hope that does come through. Hey, Josh B. I'm sorry to say we're ending in just like a minute or so, so I'll look for a question from you. So Josh, try and get a question in before I have to sign off. But we'll be streaming again tomorrow. No pressure, Josh. You can come up with a question. Oh, Sebastian, that's easy. Favorite comedian cameo from The Mandalorian? Bill Burr. It was fantastic. I loved it. Lloyd says, favorite creature design from the Star Wars universe? I guess Jabba the Hutt. So popular, so well known. And Yoda. Adam Russell said, should Star Wars have a movie every year? No. I think they should have one every other year doing trilogies. Then they should take a little bit of a break between said trilogies. Bye, Jabrano. Josh B., I'm giving you a minute. Give me a question. You can come up with one. Because I feel bad that you just joined and the stream's about to end. You can ask me about anything, by the way. I'll allow it because, I'm putting you a little bit on the spot. I'll give you until 6:36, and then I must go. Bye, Lisa. Josh B. That's right, Celestial. The pressure. The pressure. Bye, Eduardo. All right, it's 6:36. Josh, I'm sorry I didn't get to a question from you. but hopefully you'll be able to join in tomorrow for the live stream. You're now a member for a month, and I do 4 streams a week. All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you tomorrow, and I hope that you have a lovely, lovely day, rest of your day. Bye, everybody. Bye.